What's up everyone, Speedy here. In this 1v1 video, we're going to be doing 2 live games as well as 1 replay review. So let's get right into it. Here we are in game number 1. So first placement game of the season for once. Person messes up the kickoff, not a problem. There we go, gonna bring it back to my corner. Very obvious pinch attempt. Gonna bring it back and get a free goal. So what you want to do is you want to pay attention to what your opponent wants. Once they separate and you see they're trying to like make a recovery pinch, try to bring it around them before they get that chance. There we go. They flip to the right. Oh, that's a good bump. We'll take our time. Nice. Didn't see him getting that touch until I kind of slowed down a little bit too much. That's a good shot. Let's try to bring it left. Or just miss it. Wow. Ooh. Definitely a bit of a de-rust session. So it's unfortunately I'm making some mistakes, but all good. It's only not even a minute into the game. Let me get a kickoff goal back, so hey, we're chilling. How did I get the demo there? Alright. As you can see, we are rocking our RLCS Worlds 2025 jersey. Or not jersey, but t-shirt. I bought a couple of them. I also got some insane swag from the event. Oh, that was so bad. Super flick. Take the freebie. So word of advice, that's why you don't pound like that into somebody's corner, because you overcommit and you put yourself completely out of position to be able to recover and save, so don't do that. Good save by the opponent. Nice. Was able to tip that. Let's stay grounded here. Save time. He actually, I think he actually ended up shooting at the end there. So there, what you want to do is you want to change the pacing of the play, and then when you change the pacing, then you can shoot once he slows down. Here he's gonna pop it left. That should be on target, slightly off. Nice, well played. The goal there was just putting pressure. I was low boost, he was low boost, I'm pretty sure, but it's just putting pressure really. Can't really go for a great shot here. Nice, good flick. What you want to do is wait for the bounce to come up. GG. So you want to wait till the bounce just from the ball just starts to go up. And as it just starts to go up, that's when you want to get your shot, because what will happen, you'll get that little bit of extra height, and you'll actually get a lot of forward pop out of it as soon as you do that from like that very low angle. It'll bring it forward fairly well, so you'll be able to get like a nice touch out of that. Let's get right into the next game though. Here we are in game number 2. Go ahead. It's a off-tempo kickoff. Fucking super off-tempo kickoff. I don't know if that was intentional or if they were just waiting. Yeah, just intentional. That's a crazy, crazy challenge. Great play, Speedy. Forced it to be awkward. And get a freebie. So you want to make them awkward in those plays. So the goal in a situation like that, if you're putting shot pressure, isn't necessarily always to shoot a shot that's directly at net. You want to shoot a shot that's threatening. Good power. Oh, that was disgusting, dude. Top bids too. Okay, that was a beautiful shot. That actually is a bad touch, so that relegates possession. Also bad challenge from the opponent. It take time. Lots of space here. Also bad touch. Relegate possession. Nice. Good challenge. Let's put pressure here. Not overcommit, so grab this pad lane here. Grab this pad. I try to put pressure here. Now I have time. Really crazy challenge for somebody that's going to put themselves super out of position. There, I have to leave. Good 50. Quick recovery. Grab this pad lane here. Can't really go for that. It's not going to waterfall the way you want, so you just typically want to play it safe on the rotation side. I tried to kind of flip that to the past, to the back side there. Oh, good though. It's a good shot though too. I was rotated too far on the wall side there, so I was essentially I was rotated too far, like out to essentially in to out, and in that case now I had to go back out to in to be able to compensate for it. So just have to be careful there. Not a great recovery. I don't know why I didn't expect that. Honestly, that was really poorly played. I should have honestly been paying attention for the cut there. Like, this touch was fine, but his quick powers like that was a smart play. Badly played. I should have played that better. Okay, so he's smurfing. And that is, there you go. Enjoy the report. Good to know. The replacements. I mean, honestly, I'd rather play the game out. Like, it's honestly would have been a fun game, but okay. I respect it. All right. Here we are in game number 3, though. Quick cues. And we are in the new map. Oh, that is fucking crazy. I did not think he was going to get that. Alright, we gotta calm it down with the greed. That's why. Calm your movements down. You are playing way too jittery, my guy. Chill. Wasting a lot of momentum and boost. Let's fake it right, and then cut left. Dude, that is the actual Flakes way, dude. You fake left, fake right, and you fake the fake, and you just go for the quick shot there. And then end up actually dunking. Uh-oh. 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 Speedy! Speedy, what are you doing? Speedy, don't do that! Oh, I fucked it up. I fucked it so badly. God damn it. Fuck. Bro, you gotta calm down with the flips though. You were full panicking there. If he flipped less and just kind of played it cool, got control, he'd been fine. Can't go for that mid boost there. It's just not a good position to put yourself into. Oh, I don't know why I read that the way I did. It's getting like, I don't know why his card feels like it's really weird to read. Okay, that's a fucking crazy save, and I missed the open net. Oh, this is 100% a D-Rust recording, but that's okay. It's fake here. Nice, good ground play. I said that didn't go in, but that's a fine. Goes to space. How do we get open space? Cool. Clicksky doodle. And I fuck up the flick. Gonna go for the ground air dribble. Yeah, he actually really defended that well. He played that patiently. That was well done. And get 50 on. That was a good 50. Thinking I'm gonna mess up kickoff. That's what I'm thinking. Freebie. Thank you, sir. I'll have another. All right. That's a really good speed flip. Plenty of boost, too. Nice try, bud. That was a bad challenge. Oops. GG. Okay, so here we are in the replay portion of the video. Starting things off, game super lagged. I don't know if this was a server thing. At the time, like, as the game started, I thought, oh great, don't tell me this guy's like a DDoSer this far down. I was like, I hope not. So I don't know, server was kind of weird. I was like, let me just play tentatively, just gotta play safe and careful. Just try to keep 50s close. Good 50 here. Here I'm like, alright, I'm trying to stay close. Keep the ball close to me just at all times, just trying not to let it separate from me for a good bit, at least until I can get more comfortable and see like how the opponent's going to play. So this flick is good. It's not going to necessarily get a goal, but what it's going to do is force pressure. Here, just, you know, trip the opponent up, and ends up giving me a free goal. Because at this point, you want to go for the power slide cut. So don't tunnel vision for a shot when you don't have a shot. Like here, don't try to go for the shot immediately. Recognize the opponents recovering back, so they're trying to come back, and just go for the quick pop shot like that. And that's what really will give you the high percentage play. So a lot of the things that a lot of people ignore, especially when it comes to fundamentals, is they fundamentally just forget that ground play is like 90% of where most of your play is going to be. 10% will be in the air or wall. But realistically, in a lot of the lower ranks and even mid ranks, even high ranks too, most of your play is going to primarily be in the ground, on the ground rather. And so you want to be getting better at where you're going to get the most benefit. Yes, wall play and air play is important. Yes, fast aerials are important. Yes, air dribbles and eventually do become really important. Flip resets later down the road, once you get really more advanced, and a lot of those fundamentals you've already worked on eventually will become important. But the thing is that if you're really trying to improve, not focus on the result, focus on just generally having a mindset that's focused on process. Focus on just steady and gradual improvement. You know, take bite-sized chunks of improvement over the course of your games, and you will get better. So here, overall, this is actually the 5th placement game. I didn't show you, I'm not showing you the 4th placement game because I lost that game because I just was not focused at all. After like the first 3 games which were recorded, as you likely have seen already, I just was not mentally focused. I don't know why, I completely broke focus that game and just couldn't recover it. So I was like, all right, you know, it's not a teachable game. This game was like, all right, let me just keep my mental high. I'm not gonna like ruin my mental trying to finish out a game that just didn't feel good. In that case, especially, just wasn't a game I felt was going to be instructive content-wise for us as well, and for you guys. So I was like, okay, this game, I felt a lot better. Obviously, ended up, of course, dominating the game, but that's not why I'm wanting to show you. I wanted to show you because of like when you can execute basic fundamentals. This was poor. So the reason this is poor is not, again, because of the outcome. The reason this is poor is because the application of what normally would be a 50-50 would work. But the thing is when I advance to play forward like that, it forces him to make a decision that's going to likely either be a 50-50 or he's going to shadow. The problem is in this case, because he's already facing me, I'm on the ground, so I get dunked high. The way around this is you single jump 50. So one of the ways you get better with this is you single jump 50, essentially as you're getting ready for the actual 50-50 challenge. So say one car's here, the other car's here, you know he's already going to be in the air and the ball's like this. You want to be in a position where you want to be able to equalize that, so that way you can kill the ball. If you stay low like that, that's what's going to happen. The ball's going to bounce over you and it's going to go above you, and just like that, it's going to be pretty awkward. So here, you grab pads, put yourself in a good recovery position. Nice play here, and just go for the quick shot, just immediate pressure. And once again, quick pop here, quick power slide cut into the pop. Even if the shot is not directly on, and if it is on, if it's not super directly going to go in very quickly, it still puts pressure on the opponent. A lot of people will tweak out and just immediately try to go for the flip. It is better typically to control and then place for a 50-50 if you're on the defending side. So if you're the defender here in this position, you see how by flipping, it commits him to the position. So positioning wise, he's committed to this momentum. He's committed to that line. You see it because he's flipping? That's why I was able to get the cut there. If he controlled and he just simply then placed for a type of 50-50 touch, potentially for a flip and tries to flip it over this way, he would have a better chance at not getting scored on there. But because he tried to flip it instantly and didn't get the control that he wanted, that's what led to that result. So these are kind of moments that like are teachable for both you as an attacker, but also teachable for your the person or really your opponent that's defending the play. And also when you're defending the play and your opponent is attacking you, they're teachable moments that can help you learn how to improve that. So here I was like, all right, let me just probe for kind of just see if the opponent's going to bite, save my boost, use my boost here to make sure I have plenty of boost to work with. I'm like, all right, now I'm going to bring the ball forward. It's just, you know, you want to watch for the opponent, be aware of where they are. Once again, now go for the delay flip touch. It's a good touch here. This puts, now here I'm just going for quick pressure here. I wanted to get like a super quick like snap cut here. I didn't get the touch I wanted because I wanted a cut that was going to basically kind of like a god weird like doink touch. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but you know, it was a super high percentage. Once again, see that you see how like by flipping I commit my line and I make it awkward for myself. This is an example why our flipping wasn't really ideal. It would be better in this case here, not necessarily flipping, but just getting either control touch or not even just simply going for the shot, just simply bringing it to the opposite corner and staying in possession. So here, just going wide, going out to in, just putting myself in a better position. And I'm like, okay. Here, just once again, put pressure, grab this boost, be in a position where I'm like, okay, put pressure, and immediately wait for the flip. So the opponent is making the mistake of flipping. They're also trying to bang it off the wall here. This is always awkward. These off-wall touches are always awkward. This is something you should try to practice. Try to practice these. So what he's doing is he's getting below completely and then he's flipping it, and that's why he's getting a flip that's really not powerful enough to actually like provide outward and upward momentum. Outward is really much dangerous here. Upward is going to be able to give him a little bit more time. Ideally, he puts it in a space that's going to be safe. Ideally, his back right, so my top left. So ideally, he puts the ball over here, and that gives it a little bit more time to work with. The way you do that is if you're defending here, is you essentially, you want to read this bounce a little bit more. So from your perspective, it's essentially going to be like here. You want to be patient and recognize that it's going to slowly come up. You also, ideally, you can even come off the wall even earlier. If you feel like it's going to be awkward here, just immediately jump off the wall and correct. So you want to jump off the wall. So as you're coming up like this, jump, correct, and then just bang the ball out. That is an easy way to do it. It gives you time to also get set up in the air and have momentum outward, and also get momentum and speed. And then you have your flip reserve to really just boom that ball out and get it out of your defensive box. So that's what's really key in this situation, is that's an alternative that would provide a lot better output, or rather better outcomes in that situation. Really good bump here. That bump is really important. So in situations where you know you're going to be awkward and your opponent's going to be awkward, what you want to do is you want to try to like recognize what the opponent wants. You know, what you want is you want to score a goal, right? Your opponent wants to stop you from doing that. So here, you see that he's trying to slow down and get a little bit of control. Get the bump. Don't have to flip, but just bumping, because he's getting jittery and he's going for the flip because he's seeing the ball come across. He wants to flip and get it into a safer position that's in control. And by doing so, he commits himself to a position. I just happen to get lucky there that he flipped there. The bump that I would have had on him would not have been so drastic. Let me take a look again though, just to confirm. Yeah, it's really the fact that he's flipping a lot that's doing that. This is something that you can work on too. Try to think about not flipping. Try to not flip so much. The way you do that is just think about like, okay, watch your replays and see if you're flipping in a situation where you don't need to flip. There, better to stay grounded. Try to recognize the ball's bounce, and then when you know you're not likely going to get bumped, and then pop it to the left, grab that boost. Grab that boost, and then you'll be in a position where you can now set yourself up with a potential shot offensively. Sorry. And then defensively, you'll be in a position where you can now cover. Here I got greedy. I went for something I probably shouldn't have. It's just kind of an angle I shouldn't have gone for. Not too worried though. It's a good pop. I kind of honestly, I jumped way too early. Unlucky I didn't really get there in time for that second touch. Ideally, what you want to do is you don't want to have to jump this early. There's better ways you can kind of go about this. One is not be going this far from the play. And if anything, if I'm going to get this boost, don't go all the way here. Cut here. Cut in, like into the field rather. And then essentially go out to in to out, and then cover and shadow. And that gives you a better alternative. An even better alternative, ideally, is not even flipping into that position. So like here, you can see how I kind of cross. Like I miss here at this point. I'm using my momentum. I missed that. I'm like, okay. But then I basically fuck off here. If you want to play safer, don't go for the like crazy low percentage peak touch where you kind of trying to go for a shot with like very little angle to work with. Essentially what you could do is instead get a control touch, bring the ball to a safer position. So like here, instead of like cutting like this, if you want to cut at all, cut in a position where your momentum is now going to cut with the ball. Because look where he is. He's going back to his net to cover, so you have plenty of space. And at this point here, you can go for this mid boost and immediately cut. You can immediately cut because he's only flipping because of how badly I played this. He's only getting possession because of how badly I played this. If I played this correctly with proper form and technique and proper decision making, I would not have actually had a problem with possession because I would have had 100% possession because he was completely in the back, like he was back post waiting. He was not wanting to basically interact with play, and that was just a complete mistake. It was a blunder. Realistically, it was actually a blunder. This is also a mistake. Really early jump and not give myself time to properly read it. If you're going to try to read for a bounce, you need to be really sure that the bounce is going to actually go the way you want. And you want to read the bounce after the bounce, so it's or before it. So basically what you want to do is you recognize it's going to come up here and bounce like this. Think about being in this position to cover here. Not try to cover here, not try to cover here, but cover that bounce so that way you can get this outward touch that now gives you a chance to get boost. So potentially if you get a really good control touch, then you can make outward like offensive like wall play. You can now bring it back down, go for a play potentially on net. So like, you know, control off the wall, boom, like that, get a touch, then jump up, potentially go for a flick shot. You can go for a power shot, hook shot. Really, the world is your oyster in that situation. You have plenty of options. But here, this is just poor. It's a mistake here, but also a super blunder on that attempt. It's just greed or anything else. I'm lucky that I didn't get that last touch. Opponent does a really good job of grabbing this boost. For this play here, this is a situation where making somebody completely tweak out. I have fucking no boost, guys. I have no boost. And yet he's full panicking and he's using all his boost. Look how much boost he's using this play. He's used all of his boost and he basically completely tweaks out and ends up actually shooting it and flipping. Again, flipping too much. And then gives me a completely free goal that he absolutely own goals and doesn't need to. I could have flipped right and actually been better off here. Do a good job of getting the beat here. I'm like, okay, now just bring it back. Kind of pay attention to the opponent's flipping. Again, you see how he's flipping a lot. And not a great touch, not a great shot, but I mean, obviously it works. The reason it works is because look how this is, again, it's a really common positioning and decision-making error. This is a combination of positioning and decision-making. This is a big mistake from the opponent. Is what you want to be doing is, instead of flipping so much, recognize like, okay, grab pads, and then let the space close, and then try to shadow in a position that's out to in, that you can cover for this play from the left side, because now you can swing and then shadow, get the ball over here. That's one option. Problem is when you're committing this much, what that tells me is that you don't care for the potential shot play, or you're not even thinking about a potential shot and even aware that could even happen. Your main focus is boost over ball. Boost over ball, guys and gals. It is a dangerous thing. There are some situations, obviously, where getting boost over the ball is beneficial, There's always exceptions to everything. But generally speaking, you want to always either try to play ball or be in a position where you can get boosts like pads here and stay with the ball, and that is going to keep you relevant in the play. If you're going for the mid boost or you're going for big pads like the hundos, and you're getting hundos in a play that literally puts you completely out of position like this is what's going to happen. This is the outcome that will likely be what you see, and that's just the reality. You have to be able to recognize that it's just not the play that you want to be making. It is going to put you in a really bad position. It is going to be a really dangerous thing, and it is going to often lead to negative outcomes. Don't make that mistake. I actually made this more awkward than I needed to. Honestly, didn't have to. I understand the kind of urgent need to kind of like keep it with it, but realistically, honestly, just like a fake here. Advancing the play forward like this and then doing that is just not good. Honestly, the opponent could have done a better job of making a goal out of that situation. I'm like, okay, here he tries to get control. He could have shot that. I was expecting a shot, so I was like, okay. He actually gets a good shot here because I'm grabbing pads. He actually gets a shot here because he messes up his positioning. And at this point, I'm like, okay, let me grab pads and then use that momentum. But the problem is I creeped out enough to where I gave him an opening and he goes for the shot. It's kind of like a combination of him making a mistake, missing it, and then me making the mistake of going off ball cam long enough to not really let myself see that he was actually setting up for the shot. Here, I see him kind of fuck up the kind of setup on the play. Really, really weak touch is what it is. Didn't really get the touch I wanted. He's going for the bump play on 0 boost. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Here, just take my time. Just put pressure with the flick. I'm like, okay, good flick. Once again, just trying to keep pressure on him. Didn't get the demo I want. That's fine. This coming up here is a really important thing. When you are defending from a touch and you know the opponent is going to be getting a second touch off the wall, so that's their first touch, right? Boom. And they're going for that boom touch. You want to be thinking about where the separation is going to happen in the play. If they glue to the ball, basically, if they put themselves really close, then you want to be careful because you want to then pay attention to the car, not the ball. Because then you want to pay attention to whether or not the car is placing for a flip reset, and you need to be careful of that. If they're just going for an air drag, and they're just what an air drag is just a type of air dribble where you're staying really close to the ball the whole time. So like as the ball is going through its trajectory, you're just staying super close to it the whole time. That's a type of air dribble. It's not necessarily actually the most efficient. The reason it's not the most efficient is because the thing is that it's typically faster to get touches that'll actually advance it along kind of like a path that's further out more. If you're using all your boost, you get a burst of speed, but it falls off more as you get later on here, and it becomes easier to save. Whereas if you're getting multiple touches, like a 3 or 4 touch air dribble, those individual touches are providing short bursts and consistent bursts of speed that actually gives you a better average, essentially a more consistent average speed of the ball through the air as it's going towards your box. So those are just small things you want to be aware of. Air drags typically aren't super effective for that reason. Are they fancy and are they good looking? Absolutely. Sometimes I'll go for them. They are really nice. Problem is again, they aren't the most effective. So learn to recognize like different types of situations. Here, his first touch gets a lot of separation. So that's like that first touch coming off the wall. That's a lot of separation right there. He gets a big touch here, and you see all that separation. He's 0 boost at this point. He can't do shit. So this tells me to kind of defend this touch, boom, do this, and then recover for the immediate shot. So I'm going to play it back from my perspective again. I want you to pay attention to the separation. So again, go for the bump play. It doesn't work, right? So I'm like, okay, grab this boost, and I slow down. Don't creep super far away. Slow down to where your momentum will naturally allow you to work with this play. I kind of slow down a little bit. I get this control touch, and then use the corner of the car to get this kind of flip touch, and immediately go for the goal there. See how well that was played defensively? It's a situation where you want to recognize how you can really make those plays count and make them work really well. Not ideal. I essentially gave possession away. It's just not something you want to be doing. Here, again, going out to in. And then at this point, now I'm like, okay, Now I can go out to into out. In this case, the opponent goes for a flip reset. I knew it was a reset that was going to be difficult for him to really make like effective. You see how by flipping, I missed that boost pad? That's a reason why, like flipping. Also, this is crazy save, by the way. That is a crazy save. That's above, so obviously it's not really scary. He goes for the final touch. My positioning was poor here. I positioned myself really poorly. I need to like slow down here and just stop. I need to stop, preserve my boost, and then recognize he's going to go for the panic flip because again, he's down 6 goals with 20 seconds to go. He's going to go for something. Realistically, he's going to go for that. I almost end up pull going at the same time here. Just putting a lot of like essentially just forward pressure with the ball here. And then missing. But fine, again, you know, not a big deal. Essentially, game's over at this point. So you'll find in these games, there's lots of teachable moments. Even games where you win by a lot or lose by a lot, you can learn a lot as long as it's a game that you're focusing on improvement throughout the game as you're actively playing it. And just being aware of situations where you can win interactions. That will be how you improve. So we're going to go into training mode for a moment, and I'm going to show you a couple small things that are going to help you kind of understand fundamentals as well. Ground play is going to be the bread and butter. You know, it's the meat and potatoes of where your gameplay is. Recognize that you don't have to go fancy, right? Even just a basic forward, like a front foot flick like that, even if it's not super powerful, just a basic flick, just to put pressure. And if you can get it to where it's even more forward, so bring it forward like that, put that pressure on somebody offensively when you have control. Then as you advance, you can start doing side flip flicks. In this case, you can start doing, like, for example, as you get better, you can do 45 flicks. You can also do 90 flicks. Not a good one, but kind of get the point. So that's just flicks, right? Another fundamental that you can learn is power slide cutting. So I'm using my left bumper here. You see how tight, sharp my turn is? So this is what it looks like normally turning. And here's me tapping. You see how small the circle becomes? That's a big benefit for you as a player if you learn how to use that to your advantage, because you can do something called a power slide cut. So for example, balls here, you can power slide cut it. Balls here, always going to a wall, boom, power slide cut. And if you don't mess it up, you can go for shot play, you can go for a lot of options. Another thing you want to learn is something called a wave dash. So this is wave dash here. Different directions, of course. So you can do like so, in different directions as well. So this is a forward wave dash. Those are side wave dashes. That's a mechanic that'll help you. And when it comes to recovery, off wall, boom, like that. So I'm going to do it multiple different ways. I'm going to show you how to do it with the directional air roll. So this is using air roll right, and then wave dash like that. Another way to do it is air roll left. So using air roll left, so like so. And the final way to do it is non-directional or just free air roll, like so. And that will help you a lot when it comes to off-wall recoveries. So say you get a touch here that's awkward, and you just want to get yourself back on the ground because it's kind of like an angle that you just don't feel comfortable in, then you can do that. You see how like you can come off the wall and have that momentum? That's an example among the other examples I showed you of how ground play can really, really benefit you. That being said though, if you found this video instructive and you would like me to review your games, let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And if you enjoyed watching this video, make sure you hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Speedy Man out.